watching the Big Ten on ABC. Already on a crazy Friday night, 2 ranked teams, top 10 teams lost on the road. Number 17 Michigan on the road, taking on all the time, and they still can for the Wolverines. Hi again, everyone. Bob Wischusen here with Brock Ewart. Allison Williams will join us in just a moment. It's amazing. Every single Saturday, it changes constantly. This week, no ranked versus ranked matchups in college football. But 10 more ranked teams are either on the road or playing on a neutral field today. So you know things are going to get crazy. Michigan coming off of a very disappointing loss to Michigan State, but it's still all out there for the Wolverines, isn't it?
It sure is. Yeah, it feels a little bit like Notre Dame that we called last week, that was sitting there with 1 loss and knows with their schedule ahead that there is plenty of opportunity to still rise in those rankings. The playoff begins now. It is the second half of the season. This will be a second half game. There is no doubt about it. And I wanted to feel the intensity of Michigan. So I got down there on that field. Beautiful day today. And to hear their strength coach and their D-line coach and those guys getting after their players. We don't lose twice at Michigan. We don't lose twice. There was let's just say, a whole bunch of energy on that field pregame.
Allison, there obviously is a reason for Michigan to bring that intensity. Are you feeling it as well?
Yeah, absolutely. And I would use the word focus. That's a word we heard a lot following that loss to Michigan State. Coach Harbaugh tells his guys, we are a submarine, and nothing on the outside gets inside. Along those same lines, quarterback John O Korn chose not to speak to the media this week, but made a point to go speak one-on-one with his offensive coordinator, Tim Drevno, and passing game coordinator, Pep Hamilton, sitting with both of them in their offices trying to fix the offensive struggles. Then he went to his receivers and he said, those 3 interceptions last week, those are on me. But they assured him, it's on all of us. And together, we will get it corrected. That meant extra reps after practice this week, extra film session, just the receivers and quarterbacks working together to try and correct the mistakes that hurt them so bad last week.
Michigan won the toss, deferred their choice to the second half, not surprisingly putting their defense on the field first and looking for their 500th Big Ten win. Indiana last beat Michigan in 1987. But they have come close the last 2 years. On this very field 2 years ago, the game went to overtime. And it will be the 16-yard line off the Devontae Williams return to begin for Brock, a redshirt freshman that's taken over at quarterback in Peyton Ramsey.
Coach's son, linebacker's mentality. He went over this team last year as a scout team quarterback. Peyton's going to get hit harder than he ever has in his life today. If you watch that tape with Michigan State and the working a week ago, it's going to be his legs. They love the run-pass options. He is a capable and able runner. He's got to be a courageous one against number 10 right there in the speed of this Michigan defense.
And number 10 right in the middle of your screen, Devin Bush. He is emblematic of that Michigan speed. And here he comes on first down. Manning well protected. High to the left, and Ramsey is able to complete his first pass out to the 30-yard line to his favorite target, Simi Cobbs.
Tempo, tempo, tempo. That's a really good sign to be able to protect and give that kind of pocket against a group that loves to come after the quarterback.
Quarterback run. Ramsey turns the corner and slides for a gain of 4.
The more he can do that and protect himself, because there's going to be ample opportunities where he won't. They zone read, they power read, and he's going to run between the tackles and up the alleys, but the less contact he takes when he can prevent it, the better.
Second down and 20. Quarterback run again. And Ramsey gets out to about the 24-yard line, maybe the 25, for a gain of 4.5. Mike McCray brought him down, and Michigan, they don't need you to be in 3rd down and 15 to be really good on 3rd down defensively. They are good in almost any 3rd down and distance. Only a 4-man rush. Ramsey with time. Now will extend the play. And he'll simply hurl it to the sideline. Well covered downfield by Michigan, and it'll be a punt to start the game for Indiana.
Yeah, they're just so well coached. We saw them a few weeks ago against Cincinnati, and for Ramsey there, you like the protection early, but you get into those down and distance, and why it's impossible, they play that zone defense, and with the level of speed they have at the corners, at the linebackers, those eyes are back into the backfield. There is just simply nowhere to go with the ball.
Hayden Whitehead, the latest Australian punter to hit college football. He'll be kicking it deep to Donovan Peoples-Jones. For Hayden Whitehead, the first time he had ever played in an American football game was against Ohio State in our opener on Thursday night. Peoples-Jones heading south instead of north, and he gets bottled up. They'll keep it right at the 29 for John O Korn, who struggled against Michigan State.
The crumbs lead to the cookie. You have got to, in a pro-style system, take the underneath throws, and Michigan State dared him. Look at the flats to his left. He's looking left. Everything is there. It is available. You have to take those underneath throws. Otherwise, you're running around or you're doing worse and throwing interceptions. Again, into that flat. Look at the coverage. They're going to drop, as Indiana will today. You've got to take the underneath pass. The checkdowns available.
Play action to start. Pitch and catch for 8 yards out to the edge to the tight end, Zach Gentry.
That is a good rhythm and timing throw. Expect a lot of two-back today. And expect it because that two-back is going to limit what Indiana likes to do defensively. It gets them out of their nickel group. It puts their base personnel on the field. It shifts their linebackers around. And Michigan feels like it simplifies what they like to do on that side of the ball.
And Brock, passing game coordinator Pep Hamilton told me before the game it's so important to get out to a good start, to eliminate any self-doubt early and just let these guys play loose and fast.
Well, they've got a offensive play caller's dream yardage, 2nd down and 1. Ron Higdon met, but he's got the first down, a gain of a couple. And Brock, building off of what Allison just talked about in her pregame report, that John O Korn didn't talk to the media this week. You thought that that was a little bit of a red flag, some tension coming out of Ann Arbor?
I'm torn on that one. I love the hyper-focused tunnel vision. It marries perfectly with the head coach, but the other side of me says that you're paying attention to the noise. Business as usual. If you flush it, it's flushed. You should be able to talk about it and move on. I'm rather torn. Most importantly, we'll see his rhythm. We'll see his confidence in this first quarter. That's most important.
Play action again. Looking downfield for Donovan Peoples-Jones. Just misses. Oh, that's a walk-in touchdown if Peoples-Jones can catch it in stride. He had Chase Dutra beat.
Yeah, this is a 8-man protection. This is a 2-man route. This is the matchup you want. You'll hear this, I think, with every analyst that does a Jim Harbaugh, Pep Hamilton game. Pro style, create your matchups. And that is your fastest, most explosive player by a long ways, 4 yards ahead of Chase Dutra, the senior safety that is a run stuffer more than a center fielder. O'Korn just put more air on it.
Chris Evans now in a tailback to the right of O'Korn in the shotgun. He'll take the handoff. He's got nowhere to go. Now he'll reverse field. Maybe he does have somewhere to go. The speed from Evans keeps the play alive, and he just ran about 40 yards to pick up 4.
He ran 109 yards for 4.
Sets up 3rd down and 6. And speaking of 3rd down, this is where Michigan has really struggled. 3rd down and 6. O'Korn over the middle, right at the first down marker. He's got Gentry, and it looks as if they will give Gentry progress for a Michigan first down.
I like Gentry. I like that guy an awful lot. And I think this Michigan staff is growing in their confidence with him as well. And that's a big one. First 3rd down of the game. That's the matchup. O'Korn is saying, I took a shot to the head. I don't think so. That's a good shot on some pressure there from Indiana. An even better throw to stand in there. There is no courage issue with John O Korn whatsoever. It is a decision-making challenge, a pocket awareness. He'll stand in there. He's a tough kid.
Redshirt freshman takes the handoff. He gets to the edge. Kareem Walker has a first down. Well, how hard is it defensively to diagnose what Michigan is going to do? Based purely on the number of calls they have on their call sheet, you're almost guaranteed to see something you haven't seen before,
yes,
correct?
And a challenge, especially early, is Tim Drebno and Pep Hamilton against Tom Allen are going to script it. And they're going to throw every formation and every personnel group out there. And they're going to make guys that are in some new spots think. And if you make those guys think instead of react, it is an advantage Wolverines.
They actually marked Kareem Walker out 1 yard shy of the first down, so 2nd down and 1. Karan Higdon has the first down and more. Inside the 20-yard line. A gain of 11 more for Michigan.
And here's what I'm talking about. You talked about Covington earlier. Look at Covington here. He is usually in space, but not today. He's going to have to play a strong side linebacker. That is some new ground for him. And look at the guys up front getting on to the second level, getting to those guys. That is a key. That is not something you saw a week ago. And for Indiana, this is not what they live in. They typically live in that 4-2 defense. New people in new spots thinking. That could be a challenge defensively.
O'Korn looking for a tunnel screen. Peoples-Jones gets to the 18-yard line for a gain of 2. And Brock, Michigan, they have really struggled in the red zone. That basically is the average of a Michigan play this season in the red zone. On first down, 1.8 yards through their first 5 games when they get inside the 20-yard line, and they have not scored many touchdowns.
It's been heavy run on early downs, and you get stuffed right there for 2 yards. What a beautiful drive here, and a mix of run and pass, 5 run, 5 pass. And it's also finding that matchup, man. You get in the red zone, you have got to have a one-on-one difference maker.
Chris Evans bouncing, going backwards. Lost a couple. Chris Covington, the first man there, and now Michigan is outside the red zone, facing 3rd down and long, so in danger of their struggles continuing. Only 5 touchdowns on 15 drives in the red zone. Only 4 teams in FBS or worse.
Great play by the end there. McCray, you want to blow the power up, then blow the polar, get that penetration, stuff it. Now I'm looking at those big tight ends. Where's Gentry? Where's Peoples-Jones? Where is my matchup to get a one-on-one situation that I like?
Indiana rushes 4. O'Korn, long throw to the corner, and it's incomplete through the hands of Grant Perry, who had a chance. So Indiana gets the red zone stop on defense, and they'll force a field goal.
That looks like Wilton Spade early. Right, a right-hander throwing back to his left, and think of the Florida game and the interception high in the pick 6. When you're throwing to your left there across the field, you got to drive that ball. You got to get that front shoulder down and drive it across the field. A couple misses there, a couple missed touchdown opportunities from O'Korn on the opening drive.
Quinn Nordine averages 2.4 made field goals per game, 4th in FBS. That's because he's getting a lot of chances to kick field goals because Michigan isn't scoring touchdowns in the red zone. But from 40 here, Nordine is good. Michigan takes the early lead. And it has been an emotional start to the career for Tom Allen as the head coach at Indiana. High five in the fans, then a hug for his dad, Tom. 2 legendary high school coaches embracing there. His dad had quadruple bypass when the team won their 2nd game of the season at Virginia. There's the grandson, Thomas Allen. A hug for Grandpa here at homecoming. And after the win at Virginia, a game ball was given to the head coach, Tom Allen, for his first ever win. And a 2nd game ball was given to Tom Allen to pass along to his dad, who was back here in Indiana recovering from quadruple bypass surgery. And that 2nd game ball brought all of the emotions out of the head coach, Tom Allen. He was broken up, to say the least. Pooch kick comes down along the sideline. That would have gone out of bounds if Devontae Williams hadn't fielded it. And instead he does field it. And so a mistake as Indiana will start at their own 13-yard line. Peyton Ramsey out of the pocket. Poor field position now for the Hoosiers, as there was a mistake on the kick return. Devontae Williams went out of bounds at the 13-yard line rather than letting a kick land out of bounds, which would have put it out to the 35. And instead, after a gain of 3, 2nd and 7, Morgan Ellison bottled up by that Michigan front after a gain of maybe a yard. Now it'll be 3rd down and long.
And those are just the plays where you say, man, maybe this moment is just a little bit too large, right? To just have an awareness of what's going on around you instead of just such a focus on your own play. If you do, you'll let that ball go out of bounds, and this real estate incredibly valuable.
3rd down and 7. Five-man rush. Under some pressure, and the 5-man rush gets home. Great job by Peyton Ramsey to somehow flip it, unload it to Luke Timian. Did he get the first down? It looks like he did by a step. What a play by the redshirt freshman quarterback, Peyton Ramsey.
A great play by everybody involved. Enough time there in a pocket that Ramsey could step into. Timian breaks off his route. He comes back to the quarterback. And then his buddy Simmie Cobb's coming in and even blocking for him. That's a team effort to move the chains.
Backwards pass. Looking for a double pass back to the quarterback. Incomplete. Mike Majette couldn't find Ramsey. So the trick play dialed up to try and take advantage of an aggressive Michigan defense. It'll be 2nd down and 5.
And that's a heads-up defense. And actually it was Furbush in the neutral zone, not Winovich on that previous play. But Mike DeBoer, offense coordinator, said we got wrinkles. You know, this is what Purdue did. You see Furbush coming off the field. Purdue was very aggressive in their gadget plays in the first quarter to at least try to plant that into the minds of the defenders.
Here comes the 5-man rush. The slant on time to Timian. That is a first down. You know, you told us we should go back and watch that Purdue tape because Purdue runs an offense similar to what we'll see out of Indiana today. So we expected to then have a good tutorial for what we would see out of Michigan's defense against this type of an offense, especially an offense with pace. And we see it here. Ramsey well protected, though, and he's able to connect. Mike Majette, he's got a first down. Pass protection has been solid so far for Indiana.
Very good. I think that stands out as much as anything here in the first frame. As Ramsey's having a time and the opportunity to get to secondary, and that time a third progression, the underneath crossing route versus zone defense.
Ramsey rolls out, sidearms one to the sideline. Great one-handed catch made by Timian, but he was out of bounds.
I think you see why Indiana made this move. Mike DeBoer, they didn't take it lightly. Tom Allen, why they went to the redshirt freshman to start a week ago. He had split reps through the early games of this season, but it is his job now. His toughness, his mobility, and his guts.
10th play of the drive. And a lane for the true freshman Morgan Ellison, who carries a tackler for 7. Well, Tom Allen told us yesterday about Peyton Ramsey. So when he was our scout team quarterback last year, you could see it. You could see that he is either going to become our starting quarterback or play a role to help us win. You could just see the way he commanded things as a true freshman running the scout team, and now he becomes the head coach. Well, the head coach makes that call, so he clearly thinks Peyton Ramsey is ready to do this. Big third down here.
Man to man, you can see at press, you're going to have to beat press coverage.
Slant through the hands of Cobbs. Now what do you do on 4th down and 3? Too far for a field goal, perhaps?
Griffin Oak's going to try to tie this game.
Career from 50 plus, 3 for 9, 1 for 1 this year. This from 51 yards out. And it's blocked. Maurice Hurst got the block. Running with the football is Lavert Hill, and Michigan's got it on the blocked field goal return all the way down inside the Indiana 25-yard line. Check that, marked out at the 27.
His dad was a defensive back way back for the New England Patriots. That's where he gets some of that bursting quickness. He's also got the size and power. That's why he has been such a difference maker this year. 5.5 tackles for loss. He was in the rotation a season ago, but he looks trimmer. He's playing with explosion. He's getting into the backfield, and that's an enormous block there for Michigan.
Just when you thought Michigan might have hurt themselves with a timeout, they got the 4th down stop on a play the officials let run. Only after the play was over did they come in and say no. Jim Harbaugh called a timeout. Well, rather than Indiana knotting the game at 3, it turns into a blocked field goal return and great field position for Michigan.
Play action shot.
O'Korn under pressure. He wanted to go downfield, and now he will flip it down the sideline. Incomplete. Trying to find Henry Poggi. Robert McCray pressured him. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Those are one-on-ones outside. I mean, that is going to be the evolution for O'Korn in this offense, is you have got to find the Desmond Howard. Or you have got to find the Amara Darbo. You have got to find the guy that you believe in one-on-one situations. That's Fox 2 double go. And you got go routes going down both sides. There's no safeties. He could have thrown the go route. It was tight coverage. Instead, he's trying to get to that check down. And in that area of the field, you've got to find touchdowns and not settle for the field goals that they have all year.
Higdon on 2nd and 25 to the 37-yard line. Chase Dutra made the tackle. So after you get a blocked field goal return all the way down to the 27-yard line, you have to be thinking 90 to 95% of the time that sudden change and that field position has to result in points if you're Michigan. Now it's 3rd down and 19, and they're not in field goal range yet.
You got to get
huge play,
and you got to get into it. Don't get all of it. Just get yourself in the range where Nordine has been excellent.
Oh, this is trying to play call here to get 3, correct? Not to get 19. To get 3 points if you can and get in field goal range. And they'll do just that. Run it with Higdon. close to the first down. Brought down only 3 yards shy, but that does get the job done. Chase Dutra made the stop, and here comes the field goal group to try and make it 6-0, and this should take us to the end of the first quarter. One quarter in the books. Michigan with a 3-0 lead. They will look to add to it when we come back to Bloomington. Welcome back to college football, presented by Walmart as part of Dos Equis Tailgate Week. Michigan has the 3-0 lead here at IU. Bob Wischusen alongside Brock Ewert. Allison Williams down on the field. And in spite of getting a blocked field goal return all the way down to the Indiana 27-yard line, penalties, negative plays brings Quinn Nordine on to try to make it 6-0 Michigan to open up the second quarter from 38 yards out. He made his first from 40 yards away. And this one is going to be good as well. Michigan 6, Indiana nothing, early second quarter. Devontae Williams will take a knee, and it will come out to the 25. Here comes a blitz off the edge. Under pressure. Not seeing it or feeling it is Peyton Ramsey. David Long came on a corner blitz, and eventually he found Ramsey inside the 15-yard line.
And you could hear from the sidelines, and Ramsey is hurt. He is banged up. You could hear the sidelines right to the bottom of the field there calling out, corner, corner, corner. They could see that blitz coming. And there's a little of the inexperience from the redshirt freshman that is hurting right now. You never go backwards on a corner blitz. You've got to step up, make that little guy come back into the pocket. You go backwards, you give him an advantage to chase you down. Good to see him walking. That is, and those sting badly, those thigh contusions.
Now Richard Lego can make every throw. He can access every area of the field, but he is not the runner that Peyton Ramsey is in any sense. Run it here with Morgan Ellison. So how does this change what Indiana's practiced all week game plan wise when you take a running quarterback off the field and put a pocket passer in there?
Yeah, not a ton, and I say that because they know Lego inside and out. He was their starter the entire season last year. I know it is a new coordinator and a new system. He's your starter to begin the year. This just puts a little bit more focus on Simi Cobbs, those players on the perimeter, and actually opens up some of the shots down the field. Play to the strengths of your signal caller.
Well, don't turn it over on 3rd down and 22. And they will go conservative. Breaking tackles and getting loose, using a stiff arm is Majette. He almost got the first down. At the very least, bought a lot of real estate for the punt group. It'll be 4th down and 1.5 yards. So no doubt Indiana will kick it away, but Michigan just surrendered a lot more real estate, I think, than Jim Harbaugh wanted on that 3rd and long.
Yeah, and you don't see Tyree Knoll, the safety there, miss many tackles. You don't see this Michigan group miss many tackles at all. That's why they're giving up 213 yards a game. At that time, in the alley there, Majette takes advantage of Knoll and nearly moves the sticks.
So Hayden Whitehead will kick it now from across his own 20-yard line. And it's a pretty good punt. Peoples-Jones inside his own 20, up against the sideline, nowhere to go. What a flip of field position with a big gain on 3rd down and long and a 48-yard punt. Michigan has a 6-0 lead, and the head coach wants those players wrapped up. Not happy with the missed tackle. If you're in Indiana, they find ways to race. This is a racing state. Of course, the Indy 500, well, it's copied every spring with the Little 500. Here at IU, founded in 1951, a bicycle race that is modeled after the Indy 500. 25,000 people will come out to watch the bike riders every spring in April. 1st and 10 for Michigan at their own 20-yard line. And they'll run it with Isaac. And it looks like he's got a first down and does. Falls out across the 30 to the 33-yard line for a gain of 13. And this is the brace going on the leg of the quarterback, Peyton Ramsey. Does that tell you, Brock, that that's quarterback's going to try to come back in the game?
Yeah, I think so. And I've been watching him during the break there, and he's operating, running, and dropping back. He's a tough kid. I think he's going to give himself every opportunity to get back on the field. You know who else is a tough group, though, is this Michigan run team. And they didn't look at last week as disappointed, I think, as many on the outside did, and their ability to just continue to run at Michigan State, to persevere through some of that run game. 50 rush yards in that first half. As you can see, Ramsey and Lego still warming up. I'd like to just see more commitment. I think the more you continue to do this and you run it between the 20s, especially, it further sets up your play action pass.
There is the play action fake for O'Korn. Looking to the sideline, nowhere to go, has to throw it away. So now it will be 3rd down and 7. T-Gray Scales pressure John O'Korn.
And I'll tell you what that pressure did. It gave him no crumb. Right, it's wonderful to take checkdowns, but if those linebackers are going to blitz, you're going to 7-man protect, that Fox 2 protection. Those linebackers are on your checkdowns. It becomes seemingly a one-man route and nowhere to go with the football for O'Korn, and another substantial 3rd down.
O'Korn began the game 4 of 5. He's missed on his last 3. Play clock down to 8. 4-man rush, 3rd and 7. O'Korn under pressure, avoids a sack, extends the play, flips it down the sideline, and drops it in. Donovan Peoples-Jones helps out his quarterback. How did O'Korn get away from the sack?
That was an incredible play. And those are just guts to make this throw. The pressure look, it gets home, he steps up. Don't step back, he steps up into it. And after 3 interceptions a week ago, there's not many quarterbacks that are going to make that throw. That is just simply too tight. And many will just throw it away and live to play another day. And O'Korn showing you, as I said earlier, it's not about courage or competitiveness. It's about decision-making. Big-time conversion on 3rd down.
And Higdon on the carry. The C's part right up the middle. Higdon down to about the 12. A gain of 16.
Becomes real simple when you study the Michigan run game. When they get onto the second level, when those guards and centers and even tackles get their eyes up and their feet moving, that was the focal point this week for Tim Drevno and crew. Eyes up, awareness, feet moving, get to the second level, and give your opportunity for these backs to get onto safeties. And clearly, Higdon there was not messing around. He's going to try to run through those tackles, and here we are in the red zone yet again.
Can they score a touchdown? Higdon bounces it outside, heading for the pylon, heading for the end zone. That's a Michigan touchdown. Last season, Michigan led the Big Ten with 41 rushing touchdowns. That's only their 7th this season, but that one about as easy as could be from 12 yards out.
And that one was about a wide receiver, Crawford, coming in and blocking the safety. Make the corners tackle. Those guys love to cover a whole lot more than they do tackle. The evidence on that play is Crawford. Not only the lineman, Bob, getting to the second level. Oh no, those wide receivers helping their running backs out as well.
A 7-play, 80-yard touchdown drive, capped by the 3rd touchdown run this season for Karan Higdon. And it's a 13-point lead now for Michigan. Welcome back to Bloomington, where now Michigan has a 13-point lead. And an all too rare instance of scoring a touchdown in the red zone. I'm sure there are fans back in Ann Arbor that are saying, finally, we got down inside the 20-yard line and managed to find the end zone, outrushing Indiana 98-6 so far here in the first half.
That 3rd down conversion by O'Korn, dancing and moving and busting 3 tackles and throwing into double coverage. Circle that play. Remember that one as Michigan continues to roll.
Devontae Williams from inside the 5. Buried at about the 15. Peyton Ramsey well protected on 1st down. A strike over the middle to Timian. Can Indiana get points on the board before halftime with 5 minutes to go in the half? That's a gain of 18. Michigan will start the 3rd quarter with the football.
Really nice route in front of the linebacker. McCray right there. There's a little bit of zone coverage, and that is a matchup advantage you have with some of your slots against McCray at linebacker. going to take another shot to Simmie Cobbs. At some point there, number one has caught a slant. Got the go route, was just out of bounds. They're going to take another shot to their go-to most explosive playmaker on offense.
A slant again to Timian. 8 more across the 50 in front of Tyreek Kittle.
You know, the old school Big Ten linebacker. I always saw the kid out of Northwestern, Patty, who's 6'4", 245. That is not Devin Bush. He is your new school 5'10", 220, and runs and hits.
And off to Morgan Ellison. Breaks a tackle. First down. A gain of 8 for the true freshman. After his junior year in high school, Morgan Ellison broke his right leg. Following his sophomore year, he'd broken his left leg. So there was very little recruiting tape on him. And he was the last commit to this current class at IU, and they're happy to have him. He picked up a first down there. Ramsey, the middle of the field there. And he runs out at the 35, a gain of 6. Nowhere to go. Rashawn Gary forcing Peyton Ramsey to short hop it, intended for Mike Majette, but Majette was covered. It'll be 3rd down and 10. Such a sound defense.
Covered by who? That's one thing to be one-dimensional and rush the passer. No. That's Devin Bush right there in coverage. He's running the play. He is a step faster on that side. So sound. You're exactly right.
And now Devin Bush lines up to the bottom of the screen as if he's in man-to-man coverage as a cornerback.
He's got him.
Might be a free play. Why not take a shot at the end zone? And another flag thrown in the offensive backfield after the play was over. Maurice Hurst might have gotten tagged twice. An officials conference, at times with multiple flags thrown and a lot to come away with. Might be 2 fouls against Michigan.
There are 3 fouls on the play, all against the defense.
Wow.
Offside. Defense. Number 7. That penalty is declined. Holding. Defense. Number 28. That penalty is declined. Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Drove the passer into the ground. Defense number 73. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Now this is 4 occasions. 3 of them have benefited you. You're going to see the offsides right here. The 2 Wolverines are going to jump, get into the neutral zone. Now this is what I'm doing if I'm a young quarterback. Where is number 1? When I said he got him, right? Look that safety off. Where is he? That's the guy that I'm going to go to. That is my difference maker. Find a way to get Cobbs the ball.
Ramsey on first down, again looking for Mike Majette. Late coming out of the backfield, and again has to throw it into the dirt because he was bracketed.
Second down.
And that was just a screen pass. The other was play action. That was a screen that went nowhere. And here was the hit on Hurst as he drives that quarterback into the ground. This will learn at the next level. That's accompanied by a fine.
Second down and 10 at the 16.
Move the pocket.
Instead, move the quarterback. And not much place to move. Mike McCray stays home and brings down Peyton Ramsey after a gain of 2. So a big 3rd down now for Indiana in the red zone. Again, Michigan begins the 3rd quarter with the football, so wouldn't be the worst thing in the world for Indiana to work on the clock here as well. Big 3rd down play here.
Right here. That safety may have something to do with it. Look that safety off. You have got to find a way to get your difference makers in what is man-to-man. Get that safety out with your eyes.
Instead, it's a shot over the middle. Intended for Taysir Mack. He didn't even look towards Simmie Cobbs, and it will be a field goal attempt.
No, he's looking at his arms that are getting bruised and beaten up like the rest of his body in this first half. Look at that. Look at the bloodied forearm right there. Welcome to playing Michigan in this group if you want to be a running quarterback.
So Griffin Oakes, who 2 years ago was the Big Ten Kicker of the Year. Last year, a terrible season, but off to a perfect start. So far this year, he's 5 for 5. This from 32 yards out. And Indiana able to break through and get on the board, down now by 10. So it's a 10-point lead for Michigan over Indiana at halftime. Kevin Nagandi with Mack and Booger with the halftime report after these messages. You're watching the Big Ten on ABC. And we are watching a big-time defense do what Michigan so often does. And that is snuff out the pretty good opponent's offense. 13-3, Michigan has the lead at halftime. As we take a look at our first half stats brought to you by Dell Technologies. And Brock, only 22 yards on the ground for IU.
Yeah, and it's not been for effort 14 runs. And it's been quarterback run. It's been the different tailbacks, bubble screens, trying to do all you can against a suffocating Michigan defense that is just faster than you. And not just on the track. Right, not just in winter conditioning, but most importantly out here on a football field led by Devin Bush and Rashawn Gary. And I thought we would see Michigan's best effort defensively. In fact, they played that way last week against Sparty. I mean, their defense played their tails off. They have not given up a point in the fourth quarter this season. They don't wear down. They are relentless, and they played so in the first 30 minutes of this game.
And now they have a chance to start the third quarter with the football as they won the toss to start the game and deferred. So with a 10-point lead, Michigan looking for a bounce back after a 5-turnover loss last week against Michigan State. It'll come out to the 25-yard line. So here comes John O Korn. And a moment ago, Allison had a chance to catch up with Coach Harbaugh.
Coach Harbaugh, what did you say to address the 11 penalties with your team?
Yeah, we can't have them. Can't have the penalties. Can't have play to the whistle. After the whistle, got to stop.
How do you think your defense has responded to the tempo Indiana wants to play with?
That's, you know, it's created some issues, as you can see. Had to call a timeout twice.
Thanks, Coach.
Indiana starts the second half with a tackle for loss. And the tempo on both sides, Brock, has a chance to toy with the defensive coaches for the other side.
Yep.
But 3 points for Indiana in the first half says it all.
But it still comes down to winning your blocks up front. Those one-on-one matchups so often. We talk about them on the perimeter, but that time Jacob Robinson just beats Ben Bredesen. You come out of halftime, you want to establish that early down run. When you run it and you just get beat in those one-on-ones, put yourself behind the chains, hard to operate with efficiency on offense.
Koa Crawford walls his man off and picks up about 5 as we take a look at our Pacific Life game summary. And it was defense in the first half for Michigan as they backed up a rush offense that put 113 yards and a touchdown on the board, but they often control the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, bloodied and bruised was Peyton Ramsey. Got knocked out of the game, found a way to get back in. He's going to fight through a lot of it in the second half, but this defense is no fun to play against. And offensively, Hickman was 70 yards rushing in that first half. Some creases, some lanes, just not consistent enough.
And Indiana start off the second half, though, with a third down stop. Higdon motions out of the backfield. They swing it that way, high and over his head, as O'Korn misses. So it will be a 3-and-out to start the second half for Michigan. Indiana forces close to 7 3-and-outs per game, second best in FBS coming into today.
That's a win. I mean, if you're Indiana defensively, that's a minute and 22 seconds off the clock. That is that 3-and-out that you've been chasing this game. You put your offense back on the field, who had their best possession before half, scoring those points.
And here's Brad Robbins to kick it, although he doesn't want to kick it to Ja'Shawn Harris, where Ja'Shawn Harris will have a chance at a return. But he may get a chance here. Calls for a fair catch. at the 36-yard line. That might have been a break for the Wolverines, as Harris has 2 punt return touchdowns this season.
Look at the bloodied arm there. It is taped up now. I love Don Brown on the other side, who said, put your courage on the table. That's what I asked my guys to do, and just look at that. That is one beat-up guy. Was Peyton Ramsey. The knee brace came on. Coach Allen said to Allison going into halftime, his ankle is sore. That's why you see him limping. Banged in the thigh. Welcome to playing quarterback against these guys in maize and blue.
Pretty good field position for the Hoosiers, down by 10 at their own 36-yard line. Ramsey looking for a rhythm throw. Nothing's there. Intended on the slant for the redshirt freshman, Taysir Mack.
And guys, I had a chance to chat with Peyton's dad, Doug, who was his high school coach, and he said from the time he was a youngster, he has been so incredibly competitive, always had a big-time work ethic, and it's a big reason why he was able to earn this starting job.
Morgan Ellison finds a cutback lane, a rare breakdown in the Michigan defense, all the way to the 34-yard line. Now the 33 is where they mark Ellison down.
What a great block by Ian Thomas right there on the edge. He makes it happen. There's not many tight ends that block Rashawn Gary. Rashawn's looking for the hold. That's a good pin by the tight end to set up the run.
6-yard gain. Mike McCray makes the stop on Morgan Ellison once again. Nowhere to go. On second down for Ellison, now a 3rd down and 4 just outside the 25-yard line.
And you're going to get man-to-man coverage. More than likely, you're going to get heated up here. Saw this formation earlier. They tried to just throw it quick to the flat.
Looking that way once again is Ramsey, but it's bottled up. Coming back to help the quarterback and making a move down the sideline is Luke Timian. Inside the 10-yard line before he's bumped out.
Well, it ended up being to the flat, but it was a whole lot later, and that was the improv there of a Peyton Ramsey. What you have got to do against this defense, if it is not there initially, you have got to buy time, you've got to create, and Timian, one of the first missed tackles of the Wolverines.
Up the middle goes Morgan Ellison for the touchdown. What a turnaround for Indiana to start off the 3rd quarter.
Clear messaging at halftime for Indiana. Come out and get the 3 and out and get back to running the ball at the line of scrimmage. If you're going to somehow slow down Michigan, you got to run it right at them.
Big swing in momentum in the first 3 minutes of the 3rd quarter. There is the true freshman Morgan Ellison. His 3rd touchdown run of the season. A 3 and out for Indiana's defense. Quick down the field for their offense. 2 big runs from Ellison. He caps it with a touchdown. Bob Wischusen alongside Brock Ewart. Allison Williams down on the field. And we've got a football game.
It felt like Michigan looked at those halftime stats. 22 rushing yards, thought they could just line up. And Indiana said, we're not done. We're not going to quit. This is going to be a 4-quarter game. And they were the aggressor at the point of attack on that possession.
And it's going to come out to the 25-yard line on the touchback. Michigan has the field goal lead. But a turnaround for Indiana. And they have made it a field goal game here in the 3rd. Wide receiver, quick hitter to Kakoa Crawford, and that was diagnosed immediately by Tony Fields. Quarterback keeper for O'Korn, and he pays the price. It'll be 3rd down and 8. Greg Gooch was able to swamp under O'Korn.
I just think when you get into those one-back sets, man, you're playing into the advantages that Indiana does and has defensively. They'll run sideline to sideline with anybody. They welcome that one-back. An opening little bubble screen, that time a little zone read. It's been a lot more of the 2-back run, the heavy run that they've had more of a challenge with. It's an awfully big third down for the energy in this building.
Five-man rush. Delayed blitz. O'Korn tried to check it down underneath, and he had Karan Higdon on a screen with some blockers out in front. But Greg Gooch was involved in maybe hurrying that throw.
There is no doubt. Greg Gooch and his crew up front, we've seen this on a couple different occasions. They will just sacrifice for their buddies. That's what the best defenses do, and he just went and he just nailed the right guard there before he could ever get out on that screen, and it just totally discombobulated the timing of it. Now there's a big 3 and out. Back-to-back now, 3 and outs. Excuse me, 2 out of 3 series, 3 and outs in the second half here for Indiana.
Punted along the sideline by Brad Robbins. That's a pretty good kick, keeping it away from Jayshun Harris. Tipped ball at the line. Almost intercepted. It hops to Noah Furbush. Well, Tom Allen is a defensive coach. He knows, as a defensive play caller, if he had the Michigan defense, what he would be doing.
Yep.
He'd be sending heat and trying to blow Peyton Ramsey up all day long if he could. And they have gotten there plenty of times, but he actually fought off an injury in the first half where they had to put a brace on that left knee and got himself back in the game.
There's Sidney Cobbs.
Five-man rush. Low throw is scooped up by Mike Majette for a gain of 3. Another third down coming for Indiana.
You know, all Devin Bush did on back-to-back plays was tip the first one, not the size of the man in the fight. As Devin Bush is listed about 5'10", gets his hands up, deflects it, almost forces the pick, and then he's going to motion out and just cover it back and be right in his lap. That kid does everything at that position.
IU is 3 for 10 on third down against the second-best defense in America on opponent third down conversions. Another five-man rush. Back shoulder. Cobbs doesn't turn around. So it will be a 3 and out for Indiana. They'll have to kick it back to Michigan.
And on the flip side, if I'm asking for Michigan run, I am just going to throw 3 jump balls to him. I'm not going to try to be perfect. Maybe slam. In fact, the second down play was a little stack alignment. He runs a wheel route. He's in a one-on-one situation. I think eventually if you're going to break through, which is the slogan for this university right now in their football program, break through, it's going to have to be number 1 with the explosive play.
Good kick under duress with a flag down. Peoples-Jones breaks a tackle. Out of bounds near midfield. We'll have to check the marker back at the line of scrimmage. Chris Evans on first down.
Balance is what's going to win this game in this fourth quarter. Who can find any level of a passing game to complement
the third quarter
for the run in a particularly hard-fought Big Ten game? And if it comes down to the fourth quarter, the Wolverines, well, they've been pretty good in that final 15.
Welcome back to Indiana. We begin the incredibly tense fourth quarter. Not sure Rashawn Gary feels it. The only team in FBS to have yet to allow a point in the fourth quarter. And Michigan defense, they're used to playing in pressure situations because every game feels in the fourth quarter for them like a pressure situation because their offense struggling so much to put points on the board, and they begin the fourth. No mystery here. 2 tight ends, and Higdon has the first down. The first down in quite a while, as we said. Close to 14 minutes of game action for either team. T-Gray Scales made the stop.
And this is what they did a year ago. It's what they did a year ago when they wore Indiana down. 19 times in the second half, they ran the power play. And whether it's ISO, whether it's power, you keep those 2 tight ends or those 2 backs in, and you play to your strengths when the game matters the most.
Over 100 yards, as you can see, for Higdon for the first time this season. He gets another try. This time lost his footing, picked up 2. Now, Karan Higdon, He's a really interesting young man. Joined forces with a former Michigan defensive back, Wayne Lyons, and those two wanted to make a difference in the community. So they got together and started an after-school program for at-risk kids called FD, Empire for the Youth. And he knew he was blessed to be a running back in Michigan and wanted to pass that along to some at-risk kids. Replaced now by Evans. Evans finds a lane. He's got a first down. A gain of 10.
It's 4 consecutive runs. That's ISO power. That's ISO, and that is power. Right, and the difference is polars. Isolation, you're just trying to man block and get your fullback on the linebacker at the second level. That power concept, you're blocking down and then you're bringing your polars around. But all 4 of those run plays right between the tackles, and you move the sticks twice.
Some great pictures. There's the coach, Lee Corso, of course, well known here in Bloomington. All of those images, by the way, shot by the IU athletic photo team. Students took all of those pictures. That photo taken August 30th of Coach Corso, and he was honored with the Bill Orwin Award. It goes to a non-alum who makes contributions to Indiana athletics. There's some classic old shots of Coach Corso in the IU football facility. After the Indiana timeout, 10.5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, 1st and 10. And a handoff to Higdon. And it parks up the middle. There goes Karan Higdon. Touchdown. 59 yards. Just what Michigan needed.
Tom Allen hates it, but it is a commitment that is 5 straight runs, and he knows it. A year ago, it was 2 backs, it was 2 tight ends, it was 19 times. This play came running right downhill at you, and you can't execute it any better than that in the safety flinches. Who was going to flinch? Who was going to make the mistake right there? The safety flinches. It's a hat on a hat. Henry Poggi leading the way there at fullback. An excellent block down there from the right tackle, Bushel Beatty. And a big-time finish from Higdon on a big-time day. 162 yards and a couple touchdowns.
And boy, does that change this game. The extra point is good from Quinn Nordin. And Karan Higdon is having himself a day. And it must feel good to see the C's part like that if you're blocking for an athletic running back. Of course, the guy calling the defense is not so good. Ramsey drops to throw on first down. Checks it down underneath. A gain of 9 to start. Wap Fillier, the true freshman, makes the catch. And now with only 1 timeout left for Indiana. 6.5 minutes to go, down by 2 scores. Really no margin for error for the Hoosiers. Taking a shot down the sideline. That might be intercepted. Lavert Hill picks it off. He jumped right in front of Taysir Mack, the redshirt freshman. Walled him off, got the pick, and Michigan's got it back with 6:09 to go.
I know your sentiment earlier, Bob, and I totally understand and get it. But maybe it's going to wear them down and have to be so precise, like a starting pitcher that's looking at 0-0-0 and the pressure to be perfect. But I don't think these guys defensively feel it at all. You heard from Allison. You know, we talked to the defensive coordinator earlier. I think they relish these opportunities. That is a no-doubter. You can't do it any better than that. Michael Zordich, secondary coach. Don Brown, it's what he lives in, that man-to-man coverage, and Lavert Hill plays it perfect. Absolutely textbook to go up and get it.
And big brother Delano plays for the Seahawks now. Had to be enjoying that as Lavert Hill gets his 2nd interception of the season. And now Michigan can work on the clock. Karan Higdon stumbles. And it looks like he will be marked down for a loss of a couple. And again, a big hole for Karan Higdon as he is up to the 34-yard line, maybe the 35. Chase Dutra made the stop, so it will be 3rd down and close to 10.
That's 168 yards for that little guy. 5'10", 190, and he does not mess around. Maybe smaller in stature than Ty Isaac, but he runs downhill.
A couple of first downs, and Michigan could end the game, but will they get in any way frisky with their play calling here on 3rd down and 10? will not. Keep it conservative and trust your defense. A loss on the play for Chris Evans. Nate Hoff came through and made the stop, and now the last timeout will be called by Indiana to try and conserve time with 4:18 to go.
You know, I snuck a little workout in yesterday when you got your nap, Bob, and that guy walked by me in the weight room. There's just some human beings that are built to lift weights. I'm not one of them. He is. 700-pound squat, 500-pound bench press, 400-pound power clean. Like, he walked by, even like the pace that he walked by, he just looked at the weights and you could tell. They get mad at him. They're like, no, man, not you again.
Tayshaun Harris back, hoping to get a return off the Robbins punt. And it feels for Indiana like they need something special to now happen, either on special teams or maybe a break if they're going to have a chance. Wobbly kick. Returnable. Can Harris get a block? Can he get to the edge? He's got speed down the sideline. Inside the 20-yard line for the young man who already this season had returned 2 punts for touchdowns, and that play might turn it around for Indiana as they now have the ball in the red zone.
What an absolutely incredible story. Torn ACLs in both those knees the last 2 years. And there's some guys that come back stronger and come back a little bit faster, but in order to do it, you got to attack that rehab and go gangbusters, exactly what he has done, and that was a must. There's no way the offense was going to find that kind of explosive play. It really hasn't for the entirety of this game, save for a couple runs to begin the second half. Put yourself in the red zone and score fast.
No timeouts for Indiana, but 4:06 on the clock. And they will start right at the Michigan 20-yard line. Four-man rush. Ramsey. Incomplete through the side of the end zone. Intended for Whop Phillier.
You guys, Ramsey took over at quarterback for the senior Richard Lego, but Lego remains one of his biggest supporters. Before he took the field, he told the youngster, stay calm, trust yourself, trust your offense, and don't let this moment be bigger than it is.
Well, he has a chance to make this one big moment if he can make it a one-possession game, and who knows what might happen. Michigan sends a blitz. Ramsey out of the pocket, flips one across his body. Incomplete. Simi Cobb's the intended receiver. Now it's 3rd down and 10.
Everything is contested. The Seahawks love to say every blade of grass. And that's what this Michigan crew does defensively.
Where do you go for answers here on 3rd down and 10? 5-man rush again. Right at the first down marker, the catch is made by Luke Timian, and he's got the first down. It's 1st and goal.
Well, he's been the one guy, and he's broken a few tackles, and he just runs away on that little slant route all the way across the field. Become trustworthy for the youngster Ramsey, has Timian.
Lob into the end zone, and through the side of the end zone again. Intended for Simi Cobbs, but no one could catch that one. David Long tied up Cobbs. After one play ago, Indiana came up with only their 2nd 3rd down conversion of the second half.
This is where you got to be patient as well. You just cannot force the issue. You've got 3 in your back pocket to make it a one-score game. Do not be greedy at this position.
Ramsey fires it to the sideline. He was out of the pocket. Was there a receiver in the area? They will say that there was. Peyton Ramsey, pressured by Rashawn Gary. Third down and goal.
Who's going to win their one-on-one?
Ramsey steps up, flips it left. It's caught. Diving for the pylon. Whop Phillier. He's in for the Indiana touchdown. A redshirt freshman finds a true freshman, and it's not over yet. 3:27 to go. So I would think, Brock, with no timeouts left and 3:27 to go, you're in a position where you have to onside kick. Griffin Oaks makes it a 3-point game. Well, maybe they're bluffing. Maybe they will kick it deep out of this formation. But now there is the onside kick. And it is touched along the sideline. Did Simi Cobb stay in bounds? I think he did. It's Indiana football. Wow. Was his left foot still on the ground when he gained possession of the ball? The right foot steps out. Does he have it with a foot down in bounds? Wow. And the officials in another conference right in front of the Michigan bench. It looked to me like the initial call was Indiana football.
The ruling on the field is the kick was touched inbounds by the receiving team and then went out of bounds. It's Michigan's ball, 1st and 10.
I'm telling you, it's not that left foot. Don't mean tweet me and Bob, all right? It's not that left foot. It is that bobble. It is that movement right there. That's the difference for Simi Cobbs, who's sitting up there looking at that screen and going, man alive. Get pushed out of bounds earlier on a huge play. I just can't quite get back in bounds. And in that moment, in that instance right there, I just can't quite control the ball enough to get back to my team at the 48.
So now if you're Indiana, you have to get a 3 and out. No timeouts left. It's a 2-yard run for Karan Higdon. Now with 3:20 still to go in the game. This game is not over yet, but Michigan will take every second off the clock that they possibly can. Indiana needs what they've been very proficient at this season, and that is forcing 3 and outs. 1 first down here for Michigan would just about end the game.
This ball cannot and will not go in the air.
Then again, a gain of 2 more. And this will take us inside of 2 minutes to go before Michigan has to snap it on 3rd down.
This is where you would have sure loved, maybe not the 2 tight end timeouts that you took for game management, but the one that you busted for not having the right people on the field. That's the one that comes back and bites you more than ever.
This is the game. If Indiana gets a stop on 3rd and 6, they would still have a pulse, as Michigan would be forced to punt. If Michigan gets the first down, they could take a knee. They snap it right as the play clock goes to zeros. They give it to Higdon. He comes up 3 yards short. So, Brock, the exact scenario we talked about, if you were to kick it deep, at least in terms of the clock, not field position, about to play itself out. Michigan will take the clock, I would think, for Jim Harbaugh, all the way down as far as he can, call a timeout, and they'll be punting with about 1 minute and 10 to go. So you're going to get the ball back, if you're Indiana, with 1 minute remaining. So Brad Robbins set to punt, and Indiana does not even have a man back deep. It looks like they are going to sell out to try and block the punt with 1:11 to go. And now they will drop Deshaun Harris back deep at the last moment. And this will head to the end zone with a flag down at midfield. Here we go. 1:05 to go for Indiana. They have no timeouts, and they have to try and get Griffin Oaks into field goal range. His career-long 58 back when he was a redshirt freshman. First catch is made short of the line to gain by Simi Cobb. So that'll keep the clock rolling. 2nd down and 1. Peyton Ramsey. Hey, drops it into Luke Timian. All the way down to the Michigan 36-yard line. They're just about in field goal range potentially now. From here, it would be about a 55-yarder. And they've got plenty of time to get closer. 42 seconds on the clock.
And those two throws looking like the guy he's named after.
25 seconds to go. Peyton Ramsey throws it to nowhere. They'll say the receiver in the area was Taysir Mack, as Devin Bush just about brought down Ramsey. Second down and 15, but Brock, 22 seconds to go.
And this is huge. The first two snaps were zone coverage, a zone ball thrown right off the ear of Devin Bush. That was pressure, that was man, game on the line. I think you're going to get back to a little bit more of that man coverage. Do what you do best when the moment's the brightest.
Now that field goal target line is where the IU coaches told us they're comfortable with Oaks getting to. Peyton Ramsey over the middle. That's a first down catch potentially. Simmie Cobbs, maybe a yard shy. Now you have to go up and spike it. Right at the field goal target line. And throwing it away with 2 seconds to go is Ramsey. And here we go.
How about the guts of Peyton Ramsey? My goodness gracious, kid's been beat up all day long. And now you put the guy that's been perfect on the season on the field.
Had one blocked earlier today, but has made all his other attempts. 2 years ago, he was the Big Ten Kicker of the Year. This to force overtime from 46. Gets it away clean. He's got it inside the right upright. Michigan had not given up a fourth quarter point before today. They just gave up 10 in the last 3.5 minutes. And we're headed to overtime. Overtime in Bloomington. Stay with us. Karan Higdon working on a 175-yard, 2-touchdown day. Is the I-back. And they'll start on the ground. He runs into his own man. Bounces it outside. Look at Higdon. What a day. Touchdown to start overtime.
You need your biggest and your best players to rise to the occasion when the moment calls for it. That's Karan Higdon making 3-4 guys miss. Freezing in the backfield. The penetration stops his feet. He never stops believing that he can get it in, and what an enormous explosive play for the Wolverines.
Karan Higdon, for his career coming into today, had 645 yards and 8 touchdowns. In this game alone, he is at an even 200 yards rushing, and that is his 3rd score.
You know what happens on those punt returns and kickoff returns? You see this every once in a while, Bob, right? You see a bobble. Those guys bobble it. In essence, that's what happens here. This play gets blown up so badly. Look at the eyes of all these defenders. You'll see it on returns all the time, right? They just freeze. They just freeze. They're not in their normal lanes. And there's that hesitation, that moment where the running back believes he can bounce, he can get outside, and the rest of those guys just frozen in a moment of time. And that says it all. That play was blown up in the backfield. That is the right call. Tom Allen is saying, I dialed up the exact call I want to hit that thing in the mouth.
And it was
3 yards behind the line.
Up front by the guys that he dialed it up to execute it. So now it goes back to an IU offense that scored 10 points late to force overtime. Peyton Ramsey, back shoulder, incomplete, intended for Simmie Cobbs. Flag out. David Long tied up Cobbs. And this will go against Michigan. This will be their 16th penalty.
Pass interference. Defense number 22. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
Well, you know what you're getting now. I mean, the final 3 minutes, the punt return and final drive, some zone coverage. You are going to get nothing but this, man. You're going to get nothing but press coverage. One-on-one. Those mano-a-mano battles on the perimeter and on the inside as well.
Ramsey out of the pocket. Inside the 10. Inside the 5. Down to about the 3-yard line. Indiana can get a first down inside the 2.
How much confidence. We've watched it just blossom in this game. Unbelievably patient. Enduring as he took hits after hits. 5 consecutive 3-and-outs. But no panic.
They'll hand it off. And it looks like that might be good enough for a first down. As Morgan Ellison moved the pile, let's see where they spot the football. First and goal inside the 2.
Come right back to the same play.
And they will. And Michigan is ready for it. Ellison with nowhere to go. Now it's second down and goal, just outside the 2. Rashawn Gary made the stop.
I'll tell you what, the QB had an opportunity right there to pull it if he wanted to. Full out commitment by Michigan to stop that run. Won't be surprised they come back to that.
Plenty of time on the play clock. A rollout for Ramsey. At the pylon wide of Jayshon Harris. Third down and goal.
They got what they wanted. That was a well-designed play. That was a motion back across the formation, expecting man coverage in that bunch. You were getting what you were wanting. And Michigan played better team defense though than the execution of that play.
After the Michigan timeout, third down and goal, obviously in 4-down territory, down by 7 in overtime. There's the zone read. Right up the middle goes Peyton Ramsey for nothing. So now it comes down to this. 4th down and goal from outside the 3. Here's the game. 4th down and goal in overtime. A rollout for Ramsey. Has to get it in the end zone. It's a jump ball. And it's intercepted by Tyree Kinnell. And that'll do it. Michigan survives in overtime. What an effort by Indiana, but Michigan finds a way to win.
These kids played their hearts out today, man. They played so darn hard. Look at that. Look along on the sidelines, every single one of them on both sides. What an incredible amount of grit that Indiana showed and came back and scored on the group that hadn't been scored on all season in that 4th quarter. Tom Allen's right. His young quarterback is going to be a winner. He's going to help them win a lot of games here at Indiana. Just not against this group right now. You move the pocket, you get outside, you try to avoid some of the pressure concepts, but when you do that against the overall team speed and playmaking of Michigan, those windows get really impossibly small.
Another terrific effort from Indiana and another near miss against Michigan as the Wolverines keep their playoff hopes alive in a must-win. Stay tuned for the Jim Harbaugh press conference on the app. For Allison and Brock, I'm Bob. So long from Bloomington.